The Gothic Crown Quartered Arms has arrived. This is the 2-ounce silver and it's simply stunning. There are few words to describe quite how incredible it feels to be an owner of this coin. And a lot of people have missed out, which is very sad. So we're going to show this coin in all of its glory and talk about the natural human emotions involved with the ownership or lack thereof of this stunning coin. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for this week's unboxing, which is of the latest and greatest from the Royal Mint. It is of course the Gothic Crown Quartered Arms, the much anticipated coin in the Great Engravers series, and I was very lucky and fortunate enough to snag the 2-ounce silver proof, as well as the 5-ounce silver proof, which has not arrived yet of course. It will probably come in January, I understand. And I was super close to getting the gold. I was in the low hundreds for my Q ticket number. I just missed out. It was in my basket, then disappeared. And there are a lot of people who will have similar stories to that, or were just unfortunate enough to get nowhere close. So those emotions are flying around, and the green-eyed envy monsters as well. I know I've certainly had them when I see other people showing the gold version, which looks incredible. So I want to talk not only about the incredible coin design and show it in all of its glory, but those human emotions as well, that human condition, and how it can feed into potentially bad decisions that will be made on the secondary market. So a lot of ground to cover in today's video, and I hope you will enjoy it. If you do, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button and share it around through your social media. And also go and check out the links in the description below to the Silver Forum, where that's where I want to start. A lot of people will say, well, how do you find out about these things? You know, the Royal Mint just releases it. Well, they do show a lot of pre-marketing material on this. You can always get a good idea of when it's coming up. And in addition to that, there are a lot of members who are in what's called the Mint Mark Club. So the VIP kind of people at the Royal Mint. If you spend lots of money, you get an account manager. And I'm in that as well. And we didn't get necessarily a time and date, like a long way in advance, but pretty much the Friday before, everybody knew it was going to be the Monday. And then it's shared through on social media. So definitely worth checking out places like the Silver Forum and others to find out information about when these coins are going to be released. So let's have a look at the coin, because the coin is what it's all about. We'll talk about the emotions and everything later, but it's stunning. It's incredible. And I have to say, you know, it was definitely one that a lot of people wanted to see. And see done well, and when you see it in the flesh you will agree that it is done well. It is stunning, it is wonderful, and I have to say I had a little bit of a heart skip moment when I opened the box for the first time and saw it. I was really happy. It's stunning, and you can't argue with the design. I mean, it is just incredible, incroyable. And the amount of detail that's on this is incredible. We'll have a good zoom in a moment with the new camera that I'm using to really showcase some of the highlighted details. But for now, we'll admire it from a distance, so to speak, and it is really very special indeed. Now, in terms of the history of it, I don't really want to go into too much of the detail of the history. That's probably going to be a video for another time. But the designer, William Wyon, who has been celebrated in this Great Engravers series with the Una and the Lion, the Three Graces, and now the Gothic Crown, is detailed here in this little information booklet. So you can have a look at all of this at your leisure, pause if you so wish and have a read. But it's fascinating. But I will be covering a lot of the history on this coin at a later time. But it's really nice to have these little booklets with any release from places like the Royal Mint. I like the history of coins. I love the history of coins. I love learning about the different periods of history of these coins as well. And this is one of the kind of heydays of coin making and coin design. So it's a real pleasure to have that in there. In terms of the rest of the package from the Royal Mint, you've probably seen it by now, but this is the sort of standard box that they have with the embossed logo on the top there. It's nice. It's feels high quality. It's, you know, nothing wrong with it at all. You got the COA here as well, which is a low number for me. I got number 127. A lot of people ask, does serial number actually make a difference? I mean, the lower the better. If you're presented with the option of buying two coins at exactly the same price, you'll probably choose the lower serial number. But unless you've got 001 or maybe 007, you're probably not going to get anything massively special for having a low one. Here's the specifications, and you can see here maximum coin mintage 4006, but limited edition presentation 3750. So where are the other 250 coins, Royal Mint? I know 6 maybe will be kept aside for the trial of the picks, but where are the other coins? There's 250 that are missing? Is there going to be kind of a collector's edition, set of them all coming out? Wouldn't put it past the Royal Mint to do that. But it is an increased mintage on other coins in the series, like the Una and the Lion and the Three Graces. That has not stopped its popularity. 10,000 people, probably more actually as well, because I was very fortunate to be low in the queue on Monday. So when I sort of logged into that machine and sort of saw that I was in the low hundreds, I was like, goodness, okay, I've got to get ready because I'm going to have a chance here. And I got on, I got the 2-ounce silver, I got the 5-ounce silver in fact as well. The 2-ounce gold was in the basket too, and perhaps that was my mistake. I added all three at once, which took an extra couple of seconds, because when I was checking out, it suddenly refreshed and the gold was gone. So I was so close, but no cigar. So 10,000 plus people at one point were in the queue, and that was after I'd purchased. I kind of went back and refreshed to see, just out of interest, whether or not I would be, if it would show the true number in the queue, and 10,000 plus was, pretty mad. So, yeah, that's, I think, telling of quite how incredible this is, and we've just got to now have a look at the incredible levels of detail on this in this macro zoom setting. Goodness me, it's beautiful. I mean, you just got to admire the amount of level of detail that continues to go throughout this, even on like the English rose there. Just every petal, every tiny little bit is so well done, so intricately made. The thistle of Scotland over there, and then we've got the clover, the shamrock over here for Ireland. No Wales, but we'll talk about that when we do the history of the coin and of that period. But England represented twice on the Gothic Crown portrait, on the courted arms side of this coin. Really, really lovely, absolutely stunning. And then, of course, the edges as well with the crown. So you can see why it's so desirable. 10,000 plus people. Now with the gold, there's only 350 of them, and a lot of people have been talking about how it seemed like a lot of the releases within that series were not even listed on the Royal Mint's website. And we're going to come back to this sort of Royal Mint Mint Mark Club, because the VIPs did get basically first pick of everything. It was quite enlightening, I think, that these big ones at the top, the kilo golds, the 2 kilo golds, they weren't available to general public. Even the 5-ounce gold, it seems, wasn't available to general Joe public. And I know a lot of people have been quite miffed about that, about not having the option to even try and get it. Well, even with them being available, a mintage of sort of 50, even 10 for the kilos, you're not going to get hold of one of those on the queue. It's a lottery system. And the lottery system, I think, works. Like, a lot of people will criticise the Royal Mint for having this queue-it system and, it being a lottery, whether or not you get on there. I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it's the safest and fairest way to do it for everybody involved. I think, is there an element of, collectors out there are missing out on certain coins? Well, yes, but I think if you are serious and you've been collecting like the Una and the Lions and the Three Graces in various different denominations of gold, there's a good chance you'll have been in that mint mark group and probably offered them, without having to worry about the release day on Monday. Now, from a perspective of going forward, this is one of 2 coins within this Gothic Crown. There will be the portrait, of course, which we, I think, saw in the little booklet here. There must have been one of the portrait too. Was it right at the start? Probably not, actually. Maybe it's just focusing on the quarter arms. But anyway, the Gothic Queen of Victoria will be the next one. I don't think it's on there, actually. Interesting. And that will be coming out in March. Now, if you were lucky enough to snag one of these, you might be thinking, oh God, I've got to go through it all over again in March. But there were options to have the continuity series, so you'll just automatically get it, which is a great move from the Royal Mint. And I kind of like the way they're going with that. They've done that with the Tudor Beasts and things like that too, and various other coins. And I do like that, because it means that the Joe public collector will potentially not miss out on the future coins. And it would have been an absolute nightmare for people if you were lucky enough to get the 2-ounce silver this time. Perhaps you were 1,000th in the queue and you managed to get in, but then next time you're 8,000th in the queue and you can't get it to complete your set. I think that would really kind of peeve off quite a lot of people. So it's a good move from the Royal Mint to do that. But it's natural that they're not going to be able to please everybody, and that's, I think, the crux of the matter here, that really nobody in their right mind could expect the Royal Mint to have a solution which makes everybody happy. So there will naturally be some people that will be annoyed and angry, and that's part of the human condition. That's normal, that's natural. What's not so great is when you see people really kind of having a visceral go at the Royal Mint for this, and even perhaps I've heard some reports of some of the Royal Mint's kind of customer service team really getting an earful from people that were angry on release day for not being able to get them. There's no place for that. It's just normal, it's natural, it's part of release. Not everybody can have it. It's a lottery at the end of the day. And for the percentage chances of winning, it was like 2% to get the gold if you were lucky enough to be in that first 100 in the queue. I was like 190, I think, when it clicked over, and I was not lucky enough to get it. So it is what it is, and you move on. And that's what I want to kind of say about the human emotion side of things, because there are a lot of people who will be, feeling quite miffed and feeling quite sad, and that human envy, that green-eyed monster will come to the fore. Perhaps maybe you're watching this now and you're thinking that you really must have this coin. It's so beautiful that you want it. But then when you look at the second-hand market prices or secondary market prices for these, and you're seeing things at sort of £800, £900, even the £1,000 asking price for these coins, you've got to have head and heart. And head and heart can sometimes not match up, and the emotions that people go through for these really do sometimes put that in jeopardy, certainly when it comes to an investment. Now, my personal opinion, and remember this is a personal opinion, not a financial bit of advice, is that these coins, I think, will continue to appreciate over time. I personally feel like these will be one of the best performing coins, in recent history, even perhaps to the levels of the Una and the Lion that we saw a few years ago. But it'll take time. There will be a lot of flippers right now trying to cash in for profit, and I do think that over time it will appreciate very well. Now, that said, does it mean that I want to go out and buy the gold? I said I missed the gold. I was a little bit annoyed that I missed the gold. I was even more annoyed that I missed the gold because one of my very, very close friends managed to snag the gold. He hit the jackpot. He was 40th, I think, in the queue when it went live, and he jumped on and he got the gold straight away. Now, the good news is that I'll be able to film with that coin at some point in the not too distant future. He's already got it, and it's already very, very, very good. So we'll show the gold in time, and that makes me feel quite nice that at least I'll be able to see one. Now, of course, the human emotions of wanting to own something like this really kind of hit home, and I was like, but is it okay that I've not got it? And when you think about it rationally, when the head kicks in and the heart's turned away, you kind of feel like, actually, yeah, it's all right. Now, yes, there's a big return to perhaps be had for this, but going back to the question of the lottery, you don't moan when you miss the lottery. If you miss the lottery by one set of numbers, you don't moan about that, especially when you've managed to get, say, a number of the numbers and you've got a prize anyway. And for me, I've managed to get the 2 ounce silver and the 5 ounce silver. And that's what's important. If you've missed on everything, I feel very bad for you and I feel sorry for you. But at the end of the day, it is a lottery. It is only money. And it's not going to make or break anybody's life to have this coin. Perspective is really, really important. And for me, I try not to live my life with regrets, and I would advise many other people in the world to try and do the same. It's difficult. I will agree. It's very difficult. But being able to sort of sit back and go, actually, it's not the end of the world. I think it's fine. And being the adult about it in that way, I think is really important. And one of the things that has always struck me about these coins is if you are lucky enough to get the 2 ounce golds, or even bigger, the 5 ounce golds, you've got to have a lot of responsibility put on your shoulders to get the best out of it at the other end. And a lot of people will struggle with how to sell it, where to sell it, what the best price will be, the potential risk of that. Nobody knows the future, and it could end up being that these all fall through the bottom of the market, and they will just collapse, and nobody will want to buy them at anywhere close to the prices that are happening now. And then you've locked up a significant amount of money. And if you're fortunate to have all 4 of these coins at the 2 ounce gold level at £5,000 a coin, that's £20,000. That is no small amount of money that a lot of people will have to have locked up for a long time. And I know my friend who was very fortunate to get the gold is of a similar mind, that it is going to be a long-term investment. Yes, you could look to potentially flip it now for perhaps double your price, and that would be wonderful. But holding it for the longer term, I think, is a better strategy. But that does mean that you have to have the ability to hold that coin for a long time, to not need that cash, not need that money. And a lot of people who have bought this coin perhaps on an impulse, or it's going to do really well, maybe haven't got that luxury and might be forced to sell it at some point. So I count myself lucky and unlucky at the same time to not have got this. So that's basically where we are. I'm very, very happy with it. I think it's wonderful. I think I'd give it a score of 1,000,000 out of 10. It's simply brilliant. And I absolutely am enamoured by it, to be quite frank. I think it's wonderful. So I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this coin. Please do feel free to share them down in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video and this presentation, then please do feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the next one. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.